Hey, stolen cousins. Ugh, I'm sure. Oh, you already know what time it is. Animated horror stories. Animated horror stories. Doom, doom, doom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Where we at? We're at our homies, Mr. Creepy's house. You know, the new cousin that we stole and we actually like it here. Yes, that cousin. If you haven't already, go over to Mr. Creepy's page, like some videos, subscribe. As I always say, feel free to go over there and watch, watch some videos. Just make sure you find your way back home, which is over here. I ain't stopping you from going to nobody else's house, but you always got to come back here. Make sure you come back here before the street lights come on, too. Because I ain't about to stay up all night waiting for you to come back. All right? All right. So let's get up in here. What's it say? It says three motel killer stories that will what? Make your heart race. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm ready for it. Question is you? And I'm sure you are. So let's get up into it, guys. I'm sleepy. That's why I'm like get a little down, but then I get burst of energy because I'm drinking an energy drink. As I say that, please be sure to grab a bottle of water. Yes, please, but not before your blunt. Duh. Grab a blunt, then grab your bottle of water, then grab a bag of chips so you can have something to snack on, and grab a blanket so you can be snug. All right? Whew. Let's get up into it, y'all. Mm, mm, mm. As always, the following stories are inspired loosely based on true events. No one, no one was no one was hurt mentally or physically. All characters and events taking place in this video are fictional. I went off script, but it's alright. I read it wrong, but it's okay. And then it says underneath there, this video channel. The videos on this channel are intent for mature audiences only. Meaning, if your ass ain't grown, get your ass up off this video. You ain't need to be here. You ain't about to, get us in trouble because you want to be here watching shit you ain't supposed to. Love you. Come back in a couple years. And let's get up into it, guys. Motel horror story number 1.
Question: what would you do if your car was broken in the middle of the highway? Well, if you ever face that situation, all you need to do is stay still in the car and wait for the rescue team.
Okay.
Just never make a wrong choice like Emma and Mark.
Oh,
never.
Shit. What'd they do?
The story began when the couple was on their way to enjoy their honeymoon.
Okay.
Suddenly, their car had a problem. No, no, no way! Mark shouted.
Gosh, great. How about now?
Emma started to worry. Mark was about to call the rescue team, but there was no signal here. While the couple was still trying to figure it out, suddenly a strange man passed by. What's the matter? Ah, yes, my car is broken. Can you help us? The couple were delighted to see the man. He had a toolbox, so he went down to help them. After taking a look at the car, he shook his head and said, It'll take a lot of time. Please, we can wait. Okay, if you wish. Then the man went under the car and started repairing it. It was 4 p.m. The couple waited patiently. 10 minutes, 30 minutes, and then 1 hour had passed. But the man wasn't done with it. That's okay, babe. Everything will be all right. Mark tried to reassure his wife even though he himself was losing patience. After an hour later, the old man stood up and dusted off his hands. It's done. They breathed a sigh of relief. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You are indeed our lifesaver. Then they stepped into the car and drove away.
Look at him looking
But
scary.
about 1 mile from the place, the car suddenly stopped again, and the engine wouldn't work. "What the... Ugh," Mark exasperately exclaimed.
Because he fucked
Here
up
we
your
go
car.
again.
"God damn it! Now what should we do?" Mark shouted angrily.
Y'all ain't got
Oh
AAA?
no, it's getting dark. Think we'll have to find a place to spend the night.
Emma said nervously.
I just saw a motel by the road. Go check it out.
They walked step by step on the road and finally reached that motel, which was full of surprises awaiting.
Like what though?
It was a small old inn in the middle of nowhere with no other houses or shops around. They approached the front desk and saw an employee there. He
That's
flashed a
man.
bright smile as if he knew they were coming.
Of course he did.
"Hello. You two want to stay the night, right?" Yes, I want to take a double room." The man gave them the keys, and they quickly went to the room. When they opened the door, the couple was surprised at the poor quality of the room.
Fucking
Oh,
disgusting up in there.
isn't anyone cleaning this place?
You see
Emma
the man out
said.
front? He was
She
dirty,
went to the
girl.
toilet and flushed the water
Oh,
and found
hell
out
no.
that it was full of dirt and mud.
Ew. Ugh, we should just go to sleep.
So they went to bed. Mark wanted to turn on the TV, but there were no channels working. He hit the TV a few times, but, well, nothing happened. Mark looked around, and some DVDs caught his eye. "Okay, let me see." Mark opened the first disc. The TV showed a woman tied to a chair and brutally beaten. "Nothing interesting." Mark continued to open the next DVD. It was still the scene of the man beating a girl. What kind of movie is that?
Wait, babe.
Emma's voice tensed.
Look at the room in the
That face
video.
is right behind
It
you.
looks exactly like this room.
Mark paused the video, looking closely at the TV before glancing around the room. "You're right. It's the same room."
Is the door
Mark
locked?
rewinded the entire video, all of which was torture and murder scenes. "They aren't movies." Mark trembled and looked around the room again. "There are cameras here," Mark shouted.
Here too.
Emma said. The room was exactly the same as the room in the video.
What should we do now?
Emma stammered. Maybe they were being watched too, and the killer could strike at any moment.
Try.
Shh! Mark signaled Emma to be quiet and led her on tippy-toe towards the bathroom. Suddenly, the main door swung open and a loud laugh rang out. "Where are you going?" They turned around to see the innkeeper standing right at the door. He flashed a devilish smile, holding a rusty hammer in his hand. The couple was so scared that they were trembling. Mark tugged Emma to rush to the bathroom and slammed the door. The door was about to break under the hammer blows. "Open the damn door! Don't make me angry!" Emma burst into tears, and Mark couldn't keep calm any longer. Mark pointed to the bathroom window. They looked at each other and nodded. And then Mark helped Emma climb over it.
Hurry
Emma
up!
was so scared that it took her a while to get out. The killer had already broken a hole in the door. "Hey, where you think you're going, huh?" Mark tried his best to get out. Fortunately, both of them narrowly escaped from the room.
Okay.
While turning around, they were both startled when they saw another figure standing right in front of them.
That
Mark
that ass
frowned
weirdo.
and looked closely. "Oh, good to see you. Remember us?
Girl,
We asked you for help with the car earlier, but please save us."
tell this boy.
He suddenly laughed. sending chills down their spines.
Yes, he fucked up your car. It don't take no business over under there for an hour.
Honeymoon.
Did you get him? Is that the end? Ah! We needed a better ending than that.
Finally, Madison accepted Logan's proposal and the wedding rushed in.
Finally.
After the wedding, they went to Jackson, Wyoming to enjoy their sweet honeymoon. The homestay owner, Grayson, who was a widower, was very friendly and warmly welcomed the couple. Grayson led the couple to the accommodation, and after talking with Madison for a while, the owner suddenly burst into tears, making them confused.
It's nothing. I'm just getting emotional.
Grayson gave the couple the key and talked a little about the homestay's rules.
If you two need anything, just call me and I'll be around,
he said before leaving. Now there was only the couple staying in the beautiful lakeside wooden house. That night, they had a romantic dinner by the lake. The newlyweds ate steak while enjoying the moment. Madison suddenly felt a chill run down her spine, but behind her was nothing but the trees which were swaying in the wind. Honey, what's wrong? Logan worried.
I think someone is watching us.
Madison said. Grayson said it's rare for a couple to have a honeymoon in this season. So we're alone. There aren't any others here. Logan reassured his wife. Maddie moved next to her husband, but something made her feel insecure. At midnight, Madison suddenly woke up feeling cold, so she went close to the window. It was dark and quiet outside. She could hear the rustling of leaves and the sound of animals from the forest. Feeling a shiver, she quickly closed the window. Suddenly, Madison was startled by a figure peeking around the tree. The shadow just stood there, staring at Madison, making her totally in shock. Madison reassured herself that maybe she was imagining it. So she pulled the curtain down and then lifted it again.
Girl, obviously
the shadow disappeared.
I've been thinking too much,
she thought, and quickly went back to bed. The night faded.
Ah!
Madison's scream jolted Logan awake. The floor was covered with muddy footprints, stretching from the door to the bathroom. Don't worry, darling. I'm here for you. Logan hugged his wife to comfort her, but his face couldn't hide the nervousness. He quickly informed Grayson and called the police. After investigating, the police determined that while the couple was sleeping, a stranger had broken into the house and left these traces. Nothing was lost, but their belongings were scattered around. The couple didn't find anything odd except Maddie's strange feeling of someone in the woods watching them. The police informed that the footprints were not clear enough to confirm the identity of the intruder. So after reminding the couple to be careful, the police also quickly left.
Please, accept my apologies,
Grayson said sadly.
I didn't expect this.
Don't worry, it wasn't too serious anyway,
Madison said to the owner as she felt a bit better now.
Thank you.
Grayson earnestly took Madison's hand. To compensate for that incident, Grayson suggested the couple stay in another homestay and it would be completely free.
Give me my refund.
The new homestay had a better door lock. It was located on a hill and not near the forest, so the couple felt much safer. Grayson also guaranteed that if there were any problem, he would come immediately. Even so, Madison still felt uneasy. After a romantic dinner and some slow dances, the couple soon got tired and went to bed early to prepare for tomorrow's outing. In the middle of the night, Madison suddenly woke up, perhaps because she was still nervous. Even a small sound would startle her.
Logan?
She called out to her husband softly.
I think someone is trying to break in the house.
Her voice trembled. Even though Logan wasn't fully awake, he still went outside to check to reassure his wife. Madison sat shivering in bed and waited for him.
Logan!
Madison was scared and rushed out. Oh my God! Logan was lying on the floor.
Logan!
She rushed towards him, but before she could do anything, a figure stopped her.
Grayson?
Madison was
Weird-ass
startled
Grayson.
and stepped back in fear. Grayson walked slowly toward her with a roll of duct tape in his hand.
What do you want?
Her voice shook with fear.
From the first moment I met you, I saw my wife in you. You two really look so much alike.
Grayson calmly said.
Weird-ass man.
Madison backed away in fear until she reached the wall, tears welling up in her eyes.
Don't cry, Maddie. Your beautiful eyes can't be swollen.
Grayson wiped the tears
I'd be
from
so
her
mad.
cheek.
My
He
man just got
leaned
knocked
closer
out.
to smell the scent of her hair. God, even her scent was similar to that of his deceased wife.
Please, let us go.
Madison begged and cried, but Grayson didn't care at all.
I just want you here with me.
Grayson said. Then he touched her cheek, making Madison feel even more disgusted. But her limbs were petrified. She could not run or resist. Just when Grayson was about to tie her up, Logan appeared in time
shit,
and
Logan.
hit Grayson's
Well,
head
shit.
with a lamp, knocking him to the floor.
Better do
He
something.
managed
You
to
ain't
pull
do it.
his
You
wife
got
away
knocked
from the
out.
horrifying homestay. After being caught by the police, Grayson finally confessed it all. His wife died due to domestic violence, and since then, he had always been obsessed with women who looked like his wife. From the moment he first met Madison, he had thought of kidnapping and possessing her, but the plan failed.
Neighbor horror story.
Have you ever stalked someone? Or have you been a victim of a stalker? In this story,
One, too.
I am both the stalker and the prey of a dangerous criminal. It all started when a new neighbor named Bob moved into a house next to mine. He was handsome and hot, and was definitely a genuine playboy. I brought a pair of binoculars, and ever since he moved here, I started to use them often. Damn it, I had a huge crush on him. While following him, I could tell that he was a very kind person. He brought a different girl home every day, but no girl had ever left.
He's a
I
killer.
looked at myself in the mirror.
Will I
He's
ever
a
get a
movie stepdad.
chance?
Well, I was
Stepfather?
kind of shy about my appearance. I felt a bit sad,
You want a chance
so I
to
picked
die?
up his shirt and took a deep breath.
Oh, how I wish he was mine.
Weirdo?
That was one of my souvenirs when I broke into his house last week.
Oh, so you've been stalking.
Huh? That's...
I started to see Diana, my best friend, in front of my crush's house. Bob was hanging out with Diana now? When seeing them sitting in his
Tell
room,
her she gonna
I
die.
got so jealous.
No way!
Bob
Over here
started
worrying
to
about the
approach
wrong
Diana.
shit.
Oh no, they were going to do that? While I was watching them, I was startled to see Bob turning and staring at my window. I immediately crouched down.
Did he see me?
My heart beat fast with fear. If he found out about me, maybe I wouldn't have a chance with him anymore. I slowly raised my head to look through the window and realized he had closed the curtains.
Why could he like Diana?
I was so curious. That night, I texted Diana to ask about it, but she did not answer or even pick up the phone.
Come on, where are you at this hour? Or...
I got worried, so I grabbed my binoculars to look at Bob's house. Now, the curtain in his room was open, and there was no one there.
Just nosy.
The next morning, I tried to call Diana again. Finally, after a dozen times, she actually picked up. But the first thing I heard was a loud scream. I dropped the phone in shock. She was in danger. I had to find out, and I had to start from Bob's house. I sneaked into the house through the window and then moved into the kitchen. The house was so quiet, and Bob was not there. But when I was about to leave, I suddenly heard a rustling sound coming from the closet. Startled, I quickly hid under the bed, covering my mouth to prevent myself from making a sound. Bob came out of the closet. He was carrying a heavy black bag. I saw him leave the house and drive away. I quickly got out of bed and headed to the wardrobe.
Sure enough, this is not normal.
I slowly opened the cabinet and discovered that behind it was a secret room. The room was dark with an unpleasant stench. My eyes gradually adjusted to the night. I could see a cage, an operating table, and surgical instruments. I narrowed my eyes to see more clearly. But
What the...
I leaned close to the cage and called out in a low voice.
Diana? Diana? Daisy?
A weak voice called out.
Diana! Daisy here.
I cried and ran to her.
Please, get me out of here. I'm so scared. Let me think. Oh no, he locked the cage.
After a minute,
you know how to break
I
it,
reached
so.
to the table to grab the surgical knife and tried to unlock the cage.
Oh my god, it worked.
I helped Diana out of the cage. Her face turned so pale. Her eyes
It is
looked
all of
awful.
it.
Oh my god, what did he do to you? All right, let's get you out of here first.
We were getting out of the closet when I heard footsteps approaching. Bob was back.
He's gonna try to kill
I
you.
quickly dragged Diana to the bed to hide under there. We trembled silently as we waited for him to enter the closet, and then I helped Diana out. But before we could get out of his house, I heard hurried footsteps behind us.
Stop!
I'll kill you! He yelled angrily behind us, but fortunately, we were able to get out of his house in time. I could feel him very close behind, and we didn't dare to look back. Angry Bob chased after us and shouted, "Stop, you two twats!" I couldn't stop. I must run for both of our lives. Run
Period.
or
You gotta hold
die
her.
here. I dragged Diana into my house and slammed the door shut
the phone?
immediately. Bob frantically banged on my door. "Open the door! Both of you go to hell!"
You go to hell.
I was crying nonstop, and Diana was now fainting from exhaustion.
No, Diana!
I hugged her in fear and cried.
Girl,
"Damn it!"
jealous because you thought she was over there getting some buns.
The police finally came. They found out that he was a pervert with a hobby of kidnapping girls and torturing them to death. Fortunately, Diana got out safely. The other two girls were in critical condition. I couldn't believe that I had a crush on a pervert for a long time.
Girl, a crush and was stalking. You over here talk about the crush. You are a stalker. You are just as bad as, well, not just as bad because he's killing people. You are just as bad as Buddy over here all up in his damn house. Want to be mad at your friend because you think they over there humping. They ain't humping. He over there trying to kill people. So we've seen 2 out of 3 of them. So the first one was the best because we ain't seen it before. But we don't mind. We love a little refresher. Until next time, you guys, let me know what you think of this video. I love you guys. Bye.